So, hi Lokesh. Thank you for hosting me here and really nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Tell me about what you do here in Visva-Bharati.
Okay, so basically I'm a research scholar. I'm doing my PhD under the Center for Journalism and Mass Communication in here in Shantiniketan. So my area of research is on Bengali OTT platforms. How the kind of content the Bengali audience is watching and the kind of content predictions that or the kind of trends that the Bengali OTT platforms are going through, and the kind of content that the audience wants to watch in future. So that is my area of research.
So, which OTT platforms have you selected for your research?
I have selected 2-3 OTT platforms, the major ones in Bengal, the Hoichoi, then there is one platform called Adda Times, the other one is Click. So these 2-3 platforms are the most popular ones.
Great. So, how long you have been here in Visva-Bharati?
I did my masters also here. It was in 2014 to 16. Then I did some work here and there in Kolkata in a few media houses. Then I returned in 2019 when I started pursuing my PhD. So yeah, so like it has been 4 years at least at a stretch, 4.5 years that I'm staying here.
So, tell us about this uniqueness of this university, because when I was speaking to you and Mosmi ma'am, you told me about how you have classes under sessions under a tree, and tell me a little more
So
about
basically, the founder of our university, the Nobel laureate, the first Nobel laureate from India, Rabindranath Tagore, he has imbibed this thing on our universities that we are a part of nature, and there is something always that we should also give back to nature. So following that philosophy or his ideology, what has been followed here is that uh, since our university has there is this KG to PG thing, because there are also school sections, that is the Patha Bhavana, so where actually students from class 1 to they are studying. So what is being imbibed here is students from the beginning of their early school life, they start developing this this to worship nature or to be a part of nature. So there are a lot of classes which are open air classes, where the students are taught under the shal trees. So the teachers, they teach students on how to differentiate between the types of leaves and how we can connect with nature, or why we should be grateful that nature has provided us with so many unique things, and why it is necessary for us to preserve nature. So in a way we can say that now a lot of people are saying a lot of things on climate change and doing a lot of things. So our university, what I can say is that it was already there in our university in a curriculum. Even we the senior students, we also have open air classes. I remember when our department was in IGC, Indira Gandhi Center, there we had a separate department based there, our own department, where our teachers used to teach us on open air, I mean, we are not just we are not surrounded within the four walls of a room. So we are going out, we are having classes outside. So that is, I think, the uniqueness or the beauty of our university, where we as students or the teachers, they teach us how a classroom space is not something that is very conventional. We should explore the open spaces. So that is what is done in our university.
do you have these open air sessions throughout the year?
Generally, the summers are quite grueling here. It's very hot.
Has it always been a situation, or it's a very recent phenomenon?
Okay, so generally what open air classes for us, for the senior students, it's majorly happens after we avoided the summers. In winters, it was fine. On the spring, we used to have open air classes. But the school going students, they have it because they have their morning classes. So in the morning, there is not much heat. So that is for them, it's like all the 12 months they have open air classes.
So for many years, like you have been having this philosophy of having open air classes, right? So that you connect with nature while learning. So this having classes in summer, okay, like in open air. So it earlier used to have in summers and now you don't, or it's always been like that?
Open air classes usually take place, but I think what you are trying to say is whether whether if we can the shift in climate, if we can observe. Yeah, actually that is very evident because I remember when I came to study my masters, the climate was bit different in a way. See, I'm not saying that it was very cold here or very, that was much different, but I can feel as a student when I am going to the university, when I'm taking a cycle to reach to my campus, right? So I can feel that there is this drastic change happening because initially the summer months were not, I mean, obviously it was there, the summer was very, at that point of time was also, it was very hot. But what has happened now is these minor things can be observed. For example, the humidity has increased a lot. Initially it was a completely dry region. So sweating was something which I can recollect. It happened in Kolkata because Kolkata is a very humid place. It's near to Bay of Bengal, with something I cannot relate with Birbhum or Bolpur here. It was not like that initially at the point of time when I was in my masters. But once I came back after 2019 or post lockdown, if I be very precise, I can say the humidity has increased a lot. And earlier it was like when I was a student here, it was like no matter how much heat it is in the summer months or in the daytime, after say post evening, after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the temperature used to cool down. And I still remember, even in the summer months, I had to take a sort of bed sheet in the early hours because
In summers?
even in summers, I remember,
Okay.
I precisely remember, it used to get cool. It cooled down, but after evening. But now the scenario is completely different. No matter whichever hour of the day is, you can feel the heat, the humidity. It has increased a lot.
So, I mean, I'm sure you have been here for last about 4 years, but you probably have been speaking to people, your guide, who've been here longer, maybe last two or 2.5 decades, right? What do they feel about the climate shift in the region of Shantiniketan?
Um, they also say the same thing. Even they tell us that even since they have been before us, they tell us that the place was more quieter, and in terms of population wise or climate, in terms of climate change, they say that I mean, they enjoyed a lot. Now what they say is it is also becoming a more, since it is a sort of a place where a lot of tourists come. Okay, so it has become more urbanized. Okay, a lot of there have been a growth of lot of resorts, and a lot of people are coming. There is a lot of migration happening here, and the nearby villages to Bolpur, people come for work opportunities, and lot of buildings are coming up, lot of developments are happening, malls are coming up here, which is very, very, as a student is when I used to study, when there were only a few shops, what we have seen, now there is this drastic development. That is quite shocking. I mean, considering this is such a small town where, it's very, which was the being secluded, or being a quiet town, a very university town where students come. So when we get to hear the perspective from our teachers, they say it's, yeah, a lot of things has, I mean, developed, but which has actually affected the climate over here.
Okay, so that's probably a result of why the summers are more hotter and
Yes,
okay.
definitely,
So
definitely.
how is it impacting the local population, especially the tribal people around this place?
In terms of climate change, definitely, because see, for what I have seen from my perspective is lot of developments in terms of, what is happening here is, people want to buy a piece of land here, and have their own sort of retreat, weekend getaway. So lot of housing has been there, I mean, personal housing. So what is happening is that the tribals, uh, they are losing the forest area. That is something
Oh,
which is very significant thing that I can also see myself,
we're
because
actually encroaching their land.
yeah, for example, when if you go to a place, Shonajuri, the place where it was something very, it was something meant for the tribals. For example, there used to be a place, I mean, a hut or a weekly, weekly bazaar sort of thing, which was completely owned by the tribals. They used to sell their everyday wares. For example, they cooked sort of small meals, or they made some handmade embroidery things, okay, something which you can wear on your wear, or
So multiple tribal ornaments and
tribal ornaments, or maybe some batik, some handmade something you can wear. So it used to be that in Shantiniketan, in Shonajuri. But gradually what has happened is, since tourism has increased a lot, the place has become more commercial now, and there is a, the greenery has dwindled a lot. At least from my perspective as a student, I can say this, because I have from the time, what I have seen earlier and what I'm seeing now, the place is more commercialized now.
so
Even the
just within 4 years, you've been here for last 4 years. So
for the last 4 years, and before that, when I was doing my masters, at
okay.
that time, if I contrast that with that period, so what I'm saying is, even at that point of time, there was a lot of commercialization, okay. But now what I'm saying is, it has doubled or maybe tripled or quadrupled. Lots and lots of, even the local shop owners, they are going there. They have set up their own shops over there, okay. So the place is overcrowded now. So actually it has lost its own identity, what it was supposed to be and what it is now. It is actually it is full of commercial space, and even um, it was supposed to be a forest and a land reserved for the tribals, but now it is completely different. Lot of resorts have come up only because it is something where tourists come and they have a good time. So there have been a lot of deforestation because these resorts have come up.
How does it impact the education in the university? Does it impact?
In terms of education, not much, I would say. Not that it has impacted in the education overall. But yeah, but one thing is there, that definitely the students who are coming now, they will have to face a lot of heat. I mean, they have to face this climate issue. Maybe earlier was also it was there, but now because of the rise in temperature, for example, uh, this year it shot up to 49 degrees. So that is what
The
is
normal temperature maybe a decade ago would have been how much?
a decade ago when we had arrived here. Uh, See, not much change. I would say not much change, but maybe even at that time also we have 47, 48 was there. But the thing is, the humidity and this lack of greenery. These are these things are something which are there is a sharp contrast, sharp sharp fall, that I can say. Yeah.
What is the awareness level of climate change amongst the students here?
Okay, so for example, we as students, what we can do, since we are journalism students, there are students from our department, they have made PSAs, public service announcements, and for their projects, for their projects they have made on environment or water crisis, plastic pollution. From our department we have made a lot, but other than our department, I think one initiative that I remember, it was a very big initiative. If you search it on the on Google, you will find that project. It was mainly done by the Kala Bhavan department, Kala Bhavan students. So what they have done is, last year they did, as I was speaking to you regarding the Shonajhuri thing, the Shonajhuri forest, in order to generate more awareness among the tourists and the people who visit there, what they did, they piled up all the garbage, okay, especially the plastic ones. So they collected the bottles, they collected the plastic wrappers and everything, then they collected other non-perishable things. They built a sort of they built a sort of they constructed a sort of what it is called,
Collage?
no, collage, or I'm not getting that exact
Okay.
thing.
The
A sort of point where they collected all the stuffs. They very aesthetically, they just they joined the plastic
they
sheets together.
stitched all this together to form a,
So
yeah.
from a far distance you will feel that that is something which is worth taking a selfie. Okay, so something very striking, very bright. But once you go and see
Go
the
near it.
actual installation,
Yeah.
you will find that it was entirely made up of garbage, entirely made up of plastic things that do not perish. Okay, so that was something and actually sort of eye opener, because it was I think the Telegraph, a lot of media channels, they actually wrote stories and they did videos on that thing, that this is how it is impacting the local climate, and this is what is to be done, because this is something, it might look good on look good on picture, but these are the things that are actually affecting the the local climate and the local region. So that was something very good initiative done by the students.
Nice. So, if you have to compare the awareness levels between the college going students and the school going children, who's more sensitive towards this issue of climate change?
In Shantiniketan,
In Shantiniketan?
uh, I don't have money. I can't say this in numbers, or
Okay.
but as a whole, I can say is the university itself is, as I told you, that to study nature, in order to get closer to nature, these are already a part of our university. So students, irrespective of schools, or they are doing their graduation or masters, everyone on of the university, they are, since our the kind of events that we have here are all related to nature. Okay, so for example, outside people celebrate Holi, but here we celebrate it in the form of Vasant Utsav, which is actually you are celebrating the colors of spring. Okay, so in the same way we are we celebrate Halakarshan, that is planting more trees. Okay, and at the time of Durga Puja, here we celebrate Sharad Utsav, that is we are actually celebrating at the point of nature at that time. So more or less the students, since it is imbibed in our syllabus, it is imbibed in our events, so they are, in a way, it makes us sensitive, and it makes us be more aware towards towards nature.
You also been interacting with the tribals around.
Mhm.
So, how do you think they pursue climate change? Do they understand what climate change is? That's
Not.
fine. So
Ha,
basically,
ha, ha.
actually, they're more at the
This cut
receiving end,
level.
you know. The
Yes,
tribals
yes,
are,
they are at the receiving end, because
yeah,
since they are not see, for example, since we know far than them, we have more awareness. But this is
yeah,
something from their end also that they should be aware of, and it is more like actually we are encroaching their spaces.
space, exactly.
That is something which we are
Right.
doing.
So they
So
have to actually
they are
play a
at the
more
receiving end.
defensive game,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is
than
something.
we are the ones who are actually,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
So I don't
We
know
are
if they're
the.
aware of that. Okay, no, we are
Hmm, hmm,
the
hmm.
sufferers. So, great. So, what do
Ah.
you think a solution to all this is? Is there something can be done? Is there a hope, or it's just heading for a disaster?
No, definitely there. I think there are sort of solutions. For example, we as students, as far as there are departments, for example, social work. Then there are department, the rural extension here. That is in Sriniketan, the place where you are staying. That is
Oh,
called Sriniketan. So there are a lot of departments where they actually organize campaigns. Okay, they go to the villages. They conduct studies, and even there are a few nearby villages which are actually adopted by the university. So, more than us, the students of Sriniketan, the departments of Sriniketan, they actually do a lot of this kind of awareness things. The how to, for example, as far as I remember, I had one friend from social work department here. So he mentioned me once that they have this. They sometimes they go there, and for example they do these live demonstrations on how to purify water
mhm.
using indigenous methods. Okay, so if the locals are aware about it, or how to conserve water, so these things are done, if not by our department directly, there are other departments, especially in Sriniketan, where they are interacting more with the tribes, the local people who are living nearby Shantiniketan. Definitely, they are doing. Yeah.
I'm just curious to know about
Hmm.
the PhD topic that you have. You know, it's
Hmm.
about the
Hmm.
OTT platform. Is
Hmm.
there a sustainability dimension to it? I don't know if it's going to be too much of a stretch, but it just,
Yeah, sort of. OTT, I can say one point here is uh, it might not be related directly,
okay.
but I can add one point here is, for example, OTT is a space which gives you the freedom to to narrate your story, because see, for example, if we compare cinema with OTT, there is a big difference. For example, cinema is for the mass public, where you get profits out of what you are exhibiting.
Mm.
But here in OTT is different, because OTT you get a lot of different types of audience, even a niche audience, where you have even audience for documentaries. In that way, OTT opens up a platform where you can actually show something different. For example, you have a content on environment, how environment is impacting on on the earth, how environment is impacting. So actually OTT gives you the voice, and OTT also gives you that niche audience where you can actually tell your story, and you will definitely get an audience. Even if I say, if you explore television over OTT, you will find more environment related content on OTT only.
Yes.
So I think that is the space where OTT gives you the mileage,
True.
where you can present your narrative.
Great. Thank you, Lokesh. In fact, very soon would be Dr. Lokesh. Yeah. So
Thank you, sir.
wish
Thank
you
you
all the
so
best for
much.
your PhD and thank you
Yes,
for all
sir.
your inputs.
Thank
Right.
you, sir. It
Thank
was a
you.
great pleasure speaking to you, and I wish you have a very good journey ahead. And I'm really really happy that you have taken this such an incredible initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you.